I thought I would take a moment to explain to you the ascension process and hopefully give you insight into what to expect in the future and how your consciousness is already ascending and awakened, and how your body is responding to the neurological changes of your brain, along with so many changes that are happening inside of your DNA and your cellular structure, inside of multiple experiences, as is what we would say, which you'll come to understand. Which is why when you are speaking to somebody who's gone through an ascension process, you're going to be able to identify certain characteristics of somebody who's coming from an ascended state that is of the Most High, which is that of pure love, unconditional love. It's a service to self for service to others model, where we, and myself, we break down our identity. It's an ego death, a very big ego death. A little bit about me. Up until November of 2019, I was a successful business owner. I owned multiple dental offices and a surgical center. And I had previously to that, for about a year or two prior, had known it was time for me to sell those companies and to move into something else, which I thought was to be help women, focus solely on women and helping to empower women to own and operate their own businesses and help them to become successful entrepreneurs of their own life, to support their families and their children, to be sovereign, a sovereign woman in America, and at that time, what I knew as sovereign, as divine, is completely different from what I know is sovereign and what I know is divine now. So, this process has been my whole life process. More specifically, the past 2 years, more speedily, the past 7 months since November of 2019, when my awakening, when my remembrance really began to coincide with what was occurring inside of the solar system at that time, and my galactic center aligned with all the solar system galactic center, and we became one vessel in alignment. And you can feel it in your chest. It's a calling, a pounding, a vibration. It's a way that your heart connects to all that is, and how you communicate with a higher consciousness once you break free from the collective unconscious. Carl Jung talks a lot about the collective unconscious, and that's where the brain in the 3D world, in the world that we've lived in up until now, that model, the unconscious mind, the beehive mind, is a collective mind. It's a mind matrix. And this mind matrix of the collective unconscious is a program. It is a program. We programmed it, so you have to acknowledge yourself as a master programmer, as a master architect, as an archangelic being, as an ascended master who has been here before. You've been here before many times. You just forgot. So what a beautiful thing that in this lifetime we get to remember who we are, and we get to go home, come home, be home, acknowledge home, experience self in a way that is profound. And it's important to understand that this is a free will moment. This is a free will opportunity for every individual of humanity as a whole. As a whole. I want to say as one fucking tribe. To really get the message across to everybody that we are of one. God. Well, I can't point up. Let's work this camera. God says we are of one. And to be of one is to acknowledge all of this creation as though you created it, so that you could experience it, so that you could partake of it, so that you could experience the juiciness of life, to experience the horror of life, the trauma of life, the indecency of life, the glory of life, the beauty of life, the joy of life, the love of life, the creation of life for life to always expand, to always experience, to always recreate, to ever expand. When you travel beyond time, when you experience interdimensional travel through portals and gateways, when beings come to you that you've never seen before, when you have dreams where people come to you and they're telling you to wake up, those dreams are real. My first experience in Ascension, I had dreams about a year to 2 years ago, about a year and a half ago most likely, of being like somebody, like I was asleep, even though I wasn't. There's lucid dreaming, vivid dreams. These experiences inside of Ascension are beyond lucid and vivid dreams. It is a world in which you interact with another world, and you're aware you're interacting with another world, and at first it's very scary. You don't know what's happening because that other world is so real that you begin to wonder if this world is real. And these in my dreams, my family is how I relate to them now. They're our star family. My star family, through the grace of God, woke me up because it was time. It's time for all of us. And looking back on my life as a business owner and leader in a community, always fighting for women's rights, for children's rights, for the little guy, for the meek, for the fucking people who get pissed on and picked on all the time, I have seen a lot of injustice. And now I understand why. And I understand I am. I get I am. And we are. And that I get. I have the power to change, to transcend through what this world has said we are, and what this world has said we ought to be or should be, based on false governments, false codes, false laws. Although those are real in the 3D world because we created them for a reason, so we could overcome them, so we could remember who we were, who we are, who we always will be, who we come back to, the Alpha and the Omega. This process as a divine feminine connected to Mother Earth and all of Mama that she is in her divinity, and to have bathed in her waters, to understand the love, and to not have anywhere to go to understand it but yourself and God, is the point of life right now. It is the 0 point field to connect with you, to connect with me, to connect with him. And that's all there is. And that's how it works. And I get it now. See, as you begin to question reality, and as you begin to question what is this unconscious collective this woman with a Utah beehive hat talks about, thank you, my good friend James. He made these hats, and they're awesome. Gratitude for every single being that has ever been in your life is of the utmost importance. Gratitude for every spiritual teacher you had, for every spiritual lesson you had, for every ounce of life you created for yourself, to find yourself, to discover yourself, to know yourself, to not be defined by yourself, is a powerful place to be. And what I have discovered through Ascension, and I'm still in the process of discovering, I don't know it all. We don't know it all. We know what we know when we're told to know it, when we're granted the authority, the privilege, the autonomy, the grace, the love, the compassion, to be of a non-judgmental, to be in balance, where there is no judgment. For why would you judge? Because judging, you know, is only judging yourself. You see? It's really simple. But it's not, because I was you and you were me. I was where you were when I didn't remember how simple life was. And now I remember, because I remembered I was just a dot, and you're a dot. And when you're a dot and I'm a dot, we're the same. There's no difference. And that's what I learned. And that's part of the discovery. That's part of the grace. It's not easy. I'm not in any way telling you that this process is going to be easy. I'm telling you it's worth it. And I'm telling you that everybody's going to go through it. It is what it is. This is life. This is what we do. This is who we are. We just forgot. So don't be afraid. Find your own solidarity. Find your own meekness. Find your own gratitude. Find your own joy. And find your own love for yourself. You see, we forgot. We bought into a system that was built on codependency. And no matter how much we tried to be interdependent, emotionally intelligent, we could not be. We could not be. And everybody needs to get that. Under the system we created, under the life we created for ourselves up until now, we couldn't grant ourselves the grace to understand. We would have created more war. See, we aren't here to fight one another. We are here to love one another. We are brothers and sisters, all of us, neighbor to neighbor, brothers and sisters of one. We just forgot. Like, would you... Brothers and sisters, yet not. Brothers and sisters, yet one. 1 + 1 + 1 = 3. It's a triangle. It's a triad. It's the Trinity. And through the balancing of the polar opposites of the divine masculine and the divine feminine, and confronting, accepting, being with it, being in it, being around it, being experienced by it, alters everything. So I thought selling my companies was going to be semi-retirement, and I was going to get into, do what I loved, helping people, helping women, helping children, and being with my own children, and not working 80 hours a week and being stressed to the max just to barely make ends meet, taking care of a company of, 60 people and wanting the best for everybody. It was a lot, and it took a lot from me. It almost took my life, and God gave me my life back, and I'm grateful He did. And I want to let you all know that there is darkness in this world, and you have to go through the dark to find the light. But know inside of that, you're never alone. Those of us who come first, who are here and ascend, remember first, and there's those before me, we anchor in light, we anchor in a grid, we clear gateways, we clear pathways. We are connected. See, I'm connected to many people. I am of a tribe, of many tribes, and we are all of one tribe. And where I am in my location, is my tribe. And where I am in other locations is my tribe. So those who are connected to me through my life, and those who have come through, even through here, how do I say this? We help you. We help you. So, not in a here, yes, in this way to let you know all is well and you're okay and you're gonna make it, and I made it, so you're gonna make it, and I'm happy. I'm happy inside of it all, and happiness it's contentment, it's joy, it's, when you ascend, there's nothing else you have to do in this life. You remember you were born a divine being, pure. You have nothing to prove to anybody. There's nothing to strive for anymore. There's nothing you have to do to earn anybody's love, because all is self-love. And if you love yourself, that's enough. If you love yourself, that is enough. For if you love yourself, truly, authentically, raw, you can't help but love another human being. And I'll leave you with that.